During World War II, Germany accumulated vast amounts of gold, both from domestic reserves and for the territories it occupied across Europe. The Reichsbank, Germany's central bank, became a repository for this wealth, storing not only gold mined or purchased within Germany, but also gold looted from banks, treasuries, and private citizens in occupied countries. The Nazis systematically confiscated gold from countries they invaded, including Austria, Czechoslovakia, Belgium, the Netherlands, Poland, and France. Beyond official reserves, Jewish families, wealthy industrialists, and central banks were stripped of gold, jewelry, and other valuable assets, which were funneled into Germany's central coffers. The Reichsbank meticulously recorded the influx of gold, often marking it as host country gold or emergency reserves, but the true origins were often hidden to obscure the extent of looting. Nazi leaders viewed gold as both a symbol of power and a practical tool to finance military campaigns, purchase resources, and maintain international trade, even as the war strained Germany's economy. Large shipments were transported under heavy guard to Berlin, often passing through multiple transit points to avoid Allied interception. By 1944, Germany had amassed thousands of tons of gold, much of it stolen from occupied nations, making it one of the most formidable hoards in history. As Allied forces advanced in 1944 and 1945, concerns about protecting or concealing this wealth intensified. Orders were given to move gold to secure locations in Germany and Austria, including castles, mines, and specially constructed vaults. Some gold was melted down and recast to disguise its origin, while other assets were buried or hidden in secret caches. The chaos of the collapsing Third Reich meant that documentation was often incomplete, and many shipments were never fully accounted for. Soldiers, administrators, and Nazi officials frequently kept portions of the gold for themselves, creating a patchwork of official and unofficial holdings. Historians and treasure hunters have long debated the fate of Germany's wartime gold. After the war, the Allies recovered substantial portions of the Reichsbank's reserves, returning them to countries from which they had been stolen. Yet, questions remain about gold that disappeared during the final months of the war. Some was transported to remote locations, some fell into the hands of rogue individuals, and some may have been hidden so effectively that it has never been recovered. The existence of secret accounts, clandestine shipments, and hidden caches has fueled speculation and conspiracy theories for decades, suggesting that not all of Germany's gold was ever recovered or accounted for. The disappearance of Germany's gold also has a human dimension. Entire families lost fortunes, banks were stripped bare, and nations were left struggling to rebuild their economies after the war. Some gold was allegedly used to finance escape routes for high-ranking Nazis, while other caches may have been intended for future clandestine operations or secret post-war plans. The secrecy surrounding these movements, combined with the destruction of records and the rapid advance of Allied forces, created an enduring mystery. Where did all the gold go, and who ultimately benefited from it? After Germany's surrender in May 1945, Allied forces began the monumental task of locating and recovering the Reichsbank's gold. Large amounts were discovered in central vaults, hidden mines, and bank facilities in Berlin and Austria, and were returned to the nations from which they had been stolen. France, Belgium, the Netherlands, and other countries reclaimed substantial portions of their pre-war reserves, and many smaller claims were processed over the next several years. Despite these recoveries, significant quantities of gold remained unaccounted for, sparking decades of speculation about its ultimate fate. Numerous accounts suggest that some Nazi officials managed to hide or transport gold to remote locations before the Allied advance. There are documented cases of gold being buried in rural forests, mountain caves, and abandoned castles, while other shipments were allegedly moved abroad through neutral countries such as Switzerland, Spain, and Sweden. Swiss banks, in particular, have long been implicated in handling gold with unclear provenance, creating a shadowy network that facilitated post-war concealment. Rumors and anecdotal evidence have fueled persistent theories that large amounts of Reichsbank gold were never recovered, possibly used to fund secret operations or to finance escapes for high-ranking Nazis fleeing Europe. The mystery of Germany's missing gold has inspired numerous investigations, books, and treasure hunts. Some claim that gold bars and coins still lie hidden in Austria's Alpine caves or in sunken ships in the Baltic and North Seas. Others argue that gold was melted, recast, and integrated into private holdings, making it nearly impossible to trace. While definitive proof is scarce, archival research and testimonies from former Allied officers suggest that a combination of theft, mismanagement, and deliberate concealment contributed to the enduring enigma. The idea that some of this wealth may have survived in secret has fed public fascination and conspiracy theories, turning Germany's wartime gold into a symbol of hidden power and lost fortune. Beyond the mystery itself, the disappearance of Germany's gold had real economic and historical consequences. Nations that recovered their stolen reserves could begin post-war reconstruction, but delays and missing assets exacerbated economic instability. The hidden wealth may have influenced early Cold War dynamics, as secret transfers of gold or other valuables provided resources that were difficult to track or regulate. Additionally, the story of Reichsbank gold highlights the broader human impact of war. Ordinary citizens were stripped of savings, banks were emptied, and entire communities lost financial security. The survival and concealment of some assets underscores how wealth, secrecy, and opportunity often intersected during times of upheaval. Ultimately, the fate of Germany's wartime gold remains one of the most compelling unanswered questions of World War II history. While much has been recovered and returned, a combination of deliberate concealment, stolen shipments, and destroyed records ensures that some gold may never be found. The story is a cautionary tale about greed, secrecy, and the scale of looting during one of the deadliest conflicts in human history. It serves as a reminder that even in the face of defeat, powerful individuals and institutions can manipulate resources and information, leaving mysteries that endure for generations.